Hello everybody, sorry about my Tuesday video. When I got back here from Chicago, I just passed out like almost for 24 hours. I was done for. So I couldn't get a video up. Today is usually my video where I preview the upcoming team, the Cleveland Browns. But there's only one thing that's really present in my mind right now. I think we should beat Cleveland. If we don't beat Cleveland, it's of our own undoing. They're not a bad football team at all. I can't come in here and say we're so much better than them, but I think we're good enough to be able to go in there and get a win and leave. Now, if we do and when we do, that's when you're going to hear a whole lot of buzz. You heard a little bit this week of these talking heads around here that's talking about, you know, how the Dallas Cowboys have a chance to win the NFC East, how the Dallas Cowboys, if they can, you know, make some good victories on the back end of their schedule, we can actually, you know, get into these playoffs. And I'm telling you right now, all that talk is 100% legitimate. 100% legitimate. After all the stuff that happened in the beginning of the year, you know, they're pathetic, Des Bryant, all that kind of stuff that happened, at this point, we still are in a serious fight. Not from what we've done, really. You know, we've pulled out a few games here and there, but we haven't played good at all yet. We haven't hit our stride yet. We hadn't played, you know, playoff caliber football yet. But because the rest of the NFC East has been so inept, we're still in a in a hollering spot from that first place. And let me tell you, the Giants have to play. They have to play the Packers. They have to play the Skins. They have to play the Saints, Falcons, Ravens, and Eagles. That's 4 tough games with the Packers, Saints, Falcons, and Ravens. And Skins always give the Giants they're a matchup problem for them. So they've got some tough games down the road. If they lose 3, 4 of those games, it will put us in such a beautiful position to win the NFC East. Now, the rest of our schedule, we have the Browns, Skins, Eagles, Bengals, Steelers, Saints, and Skins again. Now, the one thing I look at when you look at the bottom of the schedule, you look at teams that are quitting, or like, all right, our season's over. And I only see 2 teams. I see this upcoming Cleveland Browns. It's almost obvious that they're not going anywhere at the end of the season, and they're almost in valuation mode. So I can see them, you know, playing hard until maybe the 4th quarter and say, okay, we lost this one. Let's go on to the next one, you know. And the Philadelphia Eagles, I see them. I was on Seattle radio this past week, and a Philadelphia guy was on there also, and we were talking bad about our teams. I was like, oh, Garrett. He was like, oh, Reed. Oh, Garrett. Oh, Reed. But then I was listening to him, and I was like, whoa, the Eagles are in pretty bad shape. They're in worse shape than we. If we win this game, we'll be elevated into another place than that they won't be. So right now, we're in a decent spot. Now, we can't count out the Skins now either, because we're only a game and a half behind the Giants, and they're only a game behind us. And the Skins I don't see as a quitting team. The Skins are too young. They have too much to prove. You know, 4 wins to be about 5 wins to be better than 4. 6 will be better than 5. So they're going to try to put forth the best effort as they can toward the end of the season to make sure, you know, they go into next season, you know, feeling really good. So I do see the Eagles possibly quitting if they lose to the Skins and then lose to Carolina. We won't have anything but a team to roll over for us when they get to us next in 3 weeks. But it's wide open, people. It's wide open. All the stuff that we went through earlier in the season. Right now, it's all open. So, I hate when this happens, don't you? I hate when all this bad stuff happens and you see all the bad stuff in our football team and all the stuff like, oh my God, what are they doing? Oh, Garrett's play calling. Oh, Romo. All that kind of stuff. You start seeing a slither of possibility, and it fills up with hope. And that's usually when we get our hearts crushed. So here we are again in that position where we're going to get, because I'm getting a little bit excited, people. And you know me, I don't get excited unless it's a real possibility. I'm getting a little bit excited here to see what can happen, to see if, you know, Garrett and Romo can pull this thing around. Because I said their futures are determined on this second half of the season. I think Romo solidified himself with that amazing escape pass he did last week on that touchdown drive with Dez Bryant. Romo looked incredible on that drive, so I think he got paid on that alone. You know, I wouldn't do it myself personally, but I think that Jerry Jones is a done deal now with Romo. No need to discuss it anymore. With Garrett, if this happens, if we pull out, you know, 6 of these victories, you know, and end up 10-6 and win the NFC East, then we gotta lay off Garrett. You know what I'm saying? He pulled himself up by the, you know, the jock strap and pulled it through at the end of the season. So I hate when this happens. I hate it. But I guess we have a little more gusto this week, a little bit more happiness, because we see a slither of hope going on, and we hope the New York Giants can continue their floundering ways and keep the door open for the Dallas Cowboys to come through and remove them from the division winners and win the division and go in the playoffs and whatever happens in the playoffs. I do not think they're going to be a wild card team in the NFC East. It is too bad. The division has been too bad so far. So there will not be a wild card team there. The wild card team will come from the NFC West and NFC Central probably. And maybe even the NFC South if the Saints can completely turn their season around. But it's not going to come from the NFC East. That's a definite. The only person that's going to come from the NFC East is the division winner. There you go. All right, guys. I'll see you Sunday when we dismantle the Cleveland Browns, hopefully. And if we do that, it will be hard to not go into our Thanksgiving game with a whole lot of excitement. All right, guys. Don't you love football? Peace.